Hey everybody, it's Sindel here. We're going to try to answer some questions about the P100S and specifically the bottom of it. So we had a user on Reddit point out that there is a gap here that you can see with some wiring and some stuff in there. And then there was also this hole at the front. So I decided to take mine apart and see what I could figure out. So I've had all of these screws out here. Those are still out. These are backed off. And I tried to remove this piece completely. I figured it was just a trim piece. If I removed all the screws, I was expecting it to just come down and come off of there, but that is not what happened at all. With all of the screws removed, this thing is still just as solid as a rock on there. It's not moving at all. So I have to assume that it's either secured from inside the battery deck there or from the top somehow. Either way, it's not coming off of there. In fact, these two screws here, they don't actually seem to hold this trim piece in place. They've got some white grease on them. Just these two here had the grease on them, and they go into this metal piece here. So they're actually holding this piece of electronics to the bottom of the trim piece here. I can only guess that this is either the charging transformer or the battery management system or both. I'm not quite sure. But the fins here are definitely metal. This is definitely some piece of electronics right here. But as to whether or not this is a water hazard or a waterproofing problem, what I did find was basically all you have to do is look at this right here. This is a water egress hole. This is designed so that if water does get in here, it's not trapped. It has someplace to go, which is right out of this hole right here. And we see the same thing on the back with this trim piece here. As a matter of fact, you can actually reach up and reach into here. This trim piece is basically a bucket. So if water was to come off of the tire, which seems like it probably definitely could, if anything was to splash up into here and go into this bucket, we've got 3 drain holes here on this piece as well. So these front and back trim pieces, it's definitely designed to be able to take in water and then to eject it right out. So it's designed that way. It's not a waterproofing hazard at all. As for the hole up here, this is a bit more of a mystery. The closer I looked at that hole, and it's hard to get this sucker in focus because it's so dark in the fender there, but it's not actually a complete hole. There is a clear plastic lens in there, and I am not sure what that's for. I have no idea. I can only guess. I know that on the back of the scooter, if you look at, see, these are the projection lights for the Segway logo on the road there. They come out the back here, and that's the lens for one of those. It doesn't look quite the same as this plastic lens up here. This is more like just a piece of clear plastic rather than, you look at this lens back here, it's all domed and very much lens looking, where the other one is just clear plastic. So I'm not sure what that is for at all. I will speculate more on that later. But as for the waterproofness of the scooter, I think we are fine. Like I said, these trim pieces at the front and the back are both designed to take in water and eject water from the drain holes. So yeah, they designed that with water in mind. So we were totally okay there. I did undo all of these screws here on the bottom of the battery deck to see if I could remove this trim piece here off the bottom, and I wasn't able to get that off either. I think in order to get pretty much anything apart on the scooter, you would have to take the mat off of the top, and there's probably some screws underneath that rubber mat that's securing everything to the scooter itself. So it may actually be a while before I take the scooter apart because I don't want to mess up the adhesive on the mat. But so far, I am satisfied that this is not a waterproofing hazard.